Before we begin, let me introduce myself. My name is Venkata Hemant and I will be your host for this event. It is my privilege to guide you through the webinar and ensure that we make the most out of our time together. Let me introduce you about SEMS Welfare Foundation, who has brought this wonderful event for us today. SEMS Welfare Foundation is a non-profit entity established to work in the areas of education, social welfare, women empowerment, skill development, and entrepreneurship, livelihood generation and employability, health, research, culture, international cooperation, sports, environment protection, and similar sectors. We promote healthy lives, a balanced and active community, and a strong businesses. Together, let's explore how we master conflict. Now, without further ado, let me introduce our speaker for today, Miss Amisha Chandal, a human resource consultant at Quest IT Staffing. She has experience over various industries like automotive, FMCG, and IT industries. She excels in talent acquisition and effective communication. Amisha's skills include market research, data analysis, and report writing, along with creating impactful presentations. Amisha's academic achievements, extracurricular activities, involvement, and commitment to continuous learning make her valuable addition to any team. Besides her academia, she is an athlete. She has won 100 meters race, has various other achievements like she was awarded as COVID-19 warrior for her services at the time of COVID-19. She is also a writer with 12 plus publications which are available on Flipkart and Amazon. Let's welcome Amisha, an aspiring HR professional with passion for diving success in the workplace. Before we dive into today's event, let's go over a few important ground rules for all the participants to ensure a smooth experience. Firstly, please feel free to drop your questions in the chat box throughout the session. We will address all the questions at the end. Secondly, kindly keep your microphones muted to minimize background noise and ensure clarity during the webinar. Lastly, we encourage you to provide your valuable feedback using the form shared in the chat box. Your feedback is important to us as we strive to improve our future events. Thank you for your cooperation in advance, and let's now proceed with the webinar. Over to you, ma'am.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Hemant, for such a warm introduction. Firstly, thank you so much, SEMS Foundation, for inviting me to this webinar and being a speaker. That is really an honor. And I welcome each and every person who is here as an audience. So today, firstly, let me share my screen. Okay, I hope you are able to see my screen. So, yeah. So today's webinar is on navigating the transition from college to career. So as we all know that whenever we are the students of MBA, right? I have given a form to all of you. So most of you have filled it. So most of you are the students of MBA. So you are going to have your first job. Maybe you have completed your graduation, maybe you have completed your post-graduation, or maybe you are just pursuing it at the moment. So in the coming time, you will face certain challenges and certain solutions that I'll be giving you today. Let's discuss this one by one. So how do we get a first job? We have two methods. Being a graduate or being a postgraduate, there are two ways. Firstly, you can opt for the on-campus placements, like you do have your CRC, you do have your placement opportunities in your college. Second one are the off-campus placements that you know that you find on your own. So firstly, let me show you the challenges that you face. There are some common challenges. Irrespective of the type of placement, the way of placement that we're getting, maybe it's on campus, maybe it is off campus, the common challenges that you face are, what is the quality of your resume? In the quality, it includes everything, like your template, the content that you have written, even the picture that you have pasted. That is a part of the quality of resume. After that, your communication skills. What are you communicating? In what way are you communicating? Like you might have studied about the 7 C's. They are an essential part. Third is about the languages preferred. It's not only about the languages that we know. Like for my own preference, I prefer to speak Hindi more than English, but it's not about our preference. It's about the preference for the company in which we are appearing. For example, there's a drive of a US based company in our university. So they prefer English. So these can be a challenge phase. These can be a big barrier. Fourth one is the type of personality we have. Some of us are very introvert, some are extrovert, so the type of personality also matters. All these points are explained in the coming slides. Fifth is your confidence. Your confidence shows it all. It's not about only about the way you speak, it's about the way you see, the way you look at the interviewer, the way you are observing the surroundings, the way you are sitting, your posture, everything. So that is a part of your confidence. And then the type of selection process. See, when we go for on-campus placement, the type of selection process is completely different from that of an off-campus placement. So that may also vary from company to company. That what is the type of selection process? How many rounds will there be? What are the type of rounds? What will be the shortlisting criteria? So that also matters. What are the challenges that we face only in on-campus placements? Firstly, the analytical skills. Maybe if you have completed your graduation, then you may know that before interview, before your group discussion, there's a round, a test round in which your analytical skills, your decision making skills, these are analyzed. Apart from this, it is also analyzed that what is your knowledge level of your core subject. For example, if you are from human resources, how much knowledge do you have in human resources? What are the core areas in which you do have the knowledge of human resources? Same comes to marketing. What all do you know about marketing? What all do you know about sales? In marketing, what is your type? Are you of digital marketing? Are you willing to go for field sales? So that also matters. One most important challenge is offer versus dream. For example, I am dreaming to be an HR manager in a company, but the job that I'm getting from my university, from my college, that is of HR recruiter. That is might be of very low level from what I am expecting. Maybe I'm expecting a high post job, or maybe I'm expecting a job in a US based company and the college is providing us opportunity in the domestic markets only. So there's a comparison in offer versus dream, and sometimes we are not satisfied with our job. Next is the pressure. It's about the mental pressure. When campus placements go on, I myself have experienced this. If your students have been placed and you are still unplaced, there's a pressure in your mind, because of which sometimes you prepare what is not required. Because of this, you also lose your confidence. You need external motivation. So that pressure actually affects us mentally. And to deal with that pressure is itself a very big challenge. Next is the extracurricular activities. See, it's not always about being studious. People know that, yes, if you're pursuing an MBA degree or if you're a graduate, yes, of course, you're studying. But apart from studies, what all do you know? What all do you do? If you are a complete student, like a complete student in the sense, if you're always into studies, you don't have any extra activity. So maybe you can't be a fit for the company. Why so? Because, for example, if I'm a student of HR, I keep going through the books. I do have knowledge about every theory, about every model. But in a practical life, I don't know how to deal with a team, because that is also an extra activity. I have never conducted any, competition. I have never been a part of competition. So I don't know how to deal with that. So this can be a big barrier. Lastly, when we go for the off-campus placements, there are certain challenges like how to find the best suitable job. Like, there are various portals. We can go through Naukri, we can go through Shine, we can go through LinkedIn, or we can go through referrals. But yet, when it comes to the first job, that is not easy. Apart from this, there's a large pool of applicants. In your college, there are your classmates or the students who are in final year. They are your, competition. But when you go for off-campus placements, the whole country, or maybe people from outside the country also, they all are your competition. So there is a large pool of applicants. Third thing, you get a very low salary package when you go for off-campus placements, When you go for on-campus placements, you can get a very good salary, 10 LP, 20 LP, 40, 50 LP. You can get that very easily. But in off-campus placements, if you're getting a job which is paying you 30,000 to 35,000 in hand in your first job, that is actually very hard. That is next to impossible for some people, for some company. If you don't have any experience, definitely when you are a fresher, when you are having a transition from college to career, it's actually very hard. Not impossible, it's actually very hard. Also, the recruiters have high expectation from you. Because in on-campus placements, what happens that a recruiter comes, they know that you don't have any experience, they are just hiring you on the basis of your personality and your knowledge. But when it comes to off-campus placements, they're having a pool of candidates because of which they are having expectations from you. They think that you know the work, you can do the work, there's a software that you know about this work, you have done this somewhere, maybe in your internships or somewhere you have learned this. They are having expectations from you. They expect you to behave like an experienced person. So these expectations, it is very, very hard to fulfill. Lastly, the qualifications required. In our college, what happens that we can get placed if we have done BA, MA, BBA, MBA, we can get placed in every qualification in the final year, we get the placement opportunities. But when we go for the off-campus placements, sometimes even for the lowest post, they require a person who has done MBA. Maybe if you are a person who has done BBA and you are yet to pursue MBA, so you might face some challenges. And even when you are pursuing MBA and you have not completed, you are applying for the job in your final year, so that can be a big challenge for you. Because maybe they want that you have to complete your job first. We are not going to give you the leaves for your examination, and we are not going to provide you the work from home if you are pursuing your degree. Okay, so let's discuss all of these challenges one by one and like how can you overcome them. Firstly, the common challenges, that is the quality of resume. This is a question that I have been getting from a lot many people apart from this webinar also, that what could be an appropriate resume? What could be the best format? So firstly, I'm going to tell you the exact things that should be there in the resume, and then I'm going to show you the format. Firstly, there should be a good template, an appropriate template. What does the word appropriate mean here? For example, if you belong to a professional course, if you're having a professional, domain, for example, you are from human resources, you are from agriculture, in that case, it is expected that you must have a very formal resume, a very neat, a very clean, a very decent resume. But when it comes to the people who are from marketing, who are from digital marketing, like, who are from some creative field, even from the communication field like BMS, so the expectations are you should have a creative resume in terms of template. It can be very colorful. So the type of template matters from your specialization. Second is your career objective. When you have to write a career objective, you don't have to write in one line. Also, you don't have to write 7 to 8 line paragraph. It should be simple. Like if you are a person from marketing domain, maybe if you are a person from human resource domain. So I want to be a recruiter in XYZ industry, let it be automobile, let it be US staffing company. So I want to be a human resource recruiter in US based company and utilize all my skills and potential and abilities that I have learned during my MBA or BBA degree. Like this. I want my personal improvement along with giving the organization a benefit. So in this way, you can frame a very, concise and accurate career objective. The third one are your personal details. What happens sometimes we just write our name and our contact number, but we don't write other things like our email ID, our LinkedIn profile link, maybe because we don't have a lot many followers, maybe because we don't have any maintained LinkedIn profile. So, you must maintain this and all these personal details must be there. Your date of birth, your gender, your complete address should be there. You can make a separate column for that in the end. So all these details must be there. For the contact number, here's a tip. Whenever you're writing or mentioning your contact number in your resume, so it must have +91 in the starting, your country code, whatever your country code is. If you are from some other country, so you can just mention your own country code and then write your number after a space. For your email ID, make sure there is no extra full stop. Make sure it is written accurately. Make sure the formatting of all these things is proper and is same. You can't do it like you are writing your objective in Arial and you are writing an educational qualification in Calibri, you don't have to do that. You can keep a different font for headings and content, but not more than two. That is what's expected in a good resume. Third one are your educational qualifications. So you don't have to keep the things messy. Firstly, you write about your post graduation, then graduation, then if you have any diploma, then you have to mention that. Then you have to mention 12th class and then 10th. You don't have to mention just these things. You have to mention your school, your stream. For example, MBA bracket HR and marketing, the year of pursuing. Like for example, October 2021 to June 2023, in this way. Similar format for UG, your specialization must be there. Similar for diploma. For 12th also, you must mention you are from PCM or commerce or bio. You must mention that. And for 10th, that is general. If you do have any specialization in 10th also, you can mention that. After this, it comes the internship. So it is very must for us to have internships. If you have not done yet, or if you are waiting to have an opportunity, just stop waiting and find an internship. Because when we are freshers, so it is expected from us that apart from bookish knowledge, we must know how to work in an organization. Because if we know how to work, only then the organization will give us opportunities, right? If we don't have any knowledge, we just have bookish knowledge. So why would an organization hire us? Why would they pay us if we would not be able to give them any benefit, right? So you must pursue internships and in your domain only. For this, you must have your career decided. If you want HR, do an internship in human resources, maybe recruitment or training in development, because these are the internships that you get in the very starting. For the marketing, you can have an internship in sales and marketing. For finance, you can have an internship in that. For IT, there are plenty of internships that you may find on LinkedIn and other platforms. So, doing an internship is must. And how you have to mention it, your designation in the internship. Below that, you have to mention your company of the internship. Below that, just write key responsibilities and mention everything that you have done in your day-to-day life while the internship. Like, for example, if you are into HR internship, you have to write that I had to post the job, screening resumes, take interview. In interview, like you have to mention all the selection rounds that you had to do. Then you have to report to your senior manager, everything. So, and you may even write sometimes that what are the targets that you achieved? What were the milestones or what were the biggest achievements that you had in your internship? You can mention that also. Next comes your skills. So nowadays, it's not like you can just mention, I am confident, I have problem solving skills, I have decision making skills. That is not enough. Because nowadays, if you don't have any software skills, you don't have any software knowledge, then you might be rejected. Let it be on campus or off campus. So you must have software skills mentioned differently, and soft skills must be mentioned differently. In software skills, you can have things like I'm proficient in Microsoft Excel, maybe MS Office or any other things. You do have expertise in SAP software. For the IT students, you can mention any language in which you do have any expertise. So in this way, you have to make two columns, two different headings for software skills and your soft skills. And then there are your interest areas and hobbies. You must never ignore this part, because if you don't have a hobby, if you don't have a interest area, you can't be a good performer. They don't want a person who will just come, do their job and leave. If a person is having certain hobbies, that means he knows how to keep a mental balance. Like, if I will just talk about myself, I have mentioned my hobbies as playing BGMI, you won't believe. And it was even asked to me in my interview that why have you mentioned BGMI as a hobby? That is so addictive. I just told them, yes, I do have specific playing hours for BGMI. Because based on that, if I am working for 8 hours and I'm playing BGMI for 1 hour, so my mind will be completely relieved and I'll be ready to work for 4 more hours with a very good performance. So mention a hobby which is actually a hobby and which you can justify. Your hobby must be very clear. You can't mention music. You can mention listening to music, or you can mention the instruments that you play. So even for the hobby, that must be very clear. Apart from this, there are a few things that you may mention. They are not very important. Like as you've mentioned, career objective, that was important, but mentioning a summary statement is not as much important. In a summary statement, what you have to mention, who are we? we are a person who is I'm a person who is pursuing MBA. I'm in my first year. This is my specialization. As far as till date, I have completed so and so internships. These are my skills. These are the platforms where I have applied. Apart from education, what are my achievements in life? You can mention all that in your summary statement, so a person can have an idea about you. Second is your project undertaken. At the time of your internship or apart from that, sometimes you may go through some projects. For example, you may do some survey in the rural areas related to your work, related to your specialization, or unrelated to that. Maybe you have done some general surveys, right? For example, some employee satisfaction survey, or in corona time you might have made some reports on Google Meet versus Zoom employee satisfaction. So if you have done any such project, might be relevant or irrelevant, you have to mention. That will be an extra boost to your resume. Then you have your certifications. Maybe you have pursued some free certifications or some paid certifications. You can mention that, but make sure that you are having a certificate of that. You don't have to mention any false information, because when you will join a company, they will be asking for your certificates of internship. They will be asking for all the certifications that you have mentioned. Also for the certificate of degrees that you have got. So you have to keep everything ready. You must not show anything false in your resume. Next, we have the languages known column. You may mention this if you are a person who knows many language. You can mention there can be a column name as languages known. Then there can be language like Hindi, proficient in speaking, reading, and writing. There's English. If you are not a very fluent speaker, or if you can't speak English at all, you can just write English, proficiency in reading and writing. French, proficiency in reading, writing, speaking. So you can mention like that. And at last, there must be a declaration statement that each and everything that you have mentioned in your resume, that is authentic and that is correct. So here's a sample. Here's a sample of the resumes which you can use as a fresher for your reference. There's career objective. There's a summary which you might or might not include. So it is different in both the resumes that I'm showing. Then technical proficiency is your software skills that you can mention. Then you have to mention your educational qualification. So there must be your post-graduation, graduation, diploma, 12th, and then 10th. Your experience, if you don't have any experience, don't mention the column as written here. Fresher, just don't mention any column like experience. If you do have any internship experience, you can mention internship experience and follow the format which I've just told you. Then in the personal profile, as I mentioned, you should have mentioned all your details. And they must be correct. And at last, there must be a declaration statement. Okay, we do have certain questions. What are the certifications required for HR profile from Yashi? Okay, Yashi, when we go for the HR certifications, we must have basic certification about firstly team management. We must have a certification on communication skills. Then we must have a certification on basics of human resource management or fundamentals of human resource management. After that, you can proceed to recruitment and selection. Apart from this, the certifications which will benefit you being a fresher, they can be like your training and development, or you do have any knowledge of performance management. So these internships would be beneficial as a fresher. Moving on, communication skills. So when it comes to the communication skills, there's a lot many things which are required while communicating. For example, your communication skills are required at the time of interview as well as at the time of group discussion. Because when you are giving a written test in any analytical test, there the communication skills are not very much required. You just have to give your test on the computers. But while group discussion and while giving interviews, you have to speak. So in communication, you might have studied in your subject also that there are 7 C's of communication, which are mentioned in the right side of the screen. So these 7 C's are actually very important. Let me explain one by one. Firstly is clarity. Whatever you are speaking, there must be a clarity in your work. Like you don't have to say anything which is grammatically incorrect. Because of that, a person will not know that what you are trying to speak. You must have a clarity. You must use the correct grammar. Then there's completeness. I can't say that, okay, I do have to go to a webinar. You can say, I do have to go and attend a webinar on so and so topic on the coming Sunday at 4 p.m. is the complete statement. And at the time of interview, you don't have to say, I have done an internship in HR. I have done an internship in marketing. This is not what you have to say. You have to say, I have done an internship in HR, in recruiting part, in the Tata Motors organization. And my key areas in the organization were this and this. And the duration of my internship was 1 month or 2 months, which started in July or August, maybe. So in this way, you have to mention. Then there's concreteness. What happens sometimes our vocabularies may be too good. Okay, we are not using right words. For example, when I'm communicating here with you, so I'm using very simple words which can be understood by everyone, irrespective of the nationality. So whenever you are speaking, maybe the person doesn't know that exact vocabulary. They might be thinking that, okay, you are overqualified, or if they are not understanding you, they might reject you on the basis of this also. I'm saying this by my practical experience. I've seen people getting rejected because they were using, like, very good words, which are, above than expectations. So for the concreteness part, you just have to use simple words. Only simple words. Your statement must be clear. That's enough. There's no need to show off any word. If you know anything, like if there's any good word, actually good word, which people use generally, you can do that. But apart from this, if there's any word which you know that no one else would be knowing, don't use. Avoid using that. If you are habitual of using that, it's okay. If you're not, then just try to control that. Then we have correctness. Whatever information that we are telling, that must be correct. We must not tell any false internship. We must not tell any false event, any false achievement, any false education, because you will be caught at the end. Everything is checked. Even if we are the working professionals and we hide any previous experience, any employment experience or anything, that gets caught. And that is the moment when you get blacklisted from that company. So everything that you say, that must be correct. Even if you're telling about your skills, that, okay, I do have so and so software skills. And when you join the job and you are given those, the work in which those skills are used, and you can't do that work, your salary will be reduced, or maybe you will be fired from the company. That has happened. So you must just tell what is correct. Next is conciseness. Conciseness means you have to tell things in brief. As I mentioned in the objective part, that you have to keep your objective concise. Even at the time of group discussion, whenever you are saying, you don't have to say a very long statement. If you have a statement which has material, which is actually a very strong point, just say that. Don't just make an entire story with no point in it. That is conciseness. You have to keep your statements short. Next is correctness. I'm so sorry, I've mentioned correctness twice. And then lastly, we have courtesy. It's not only about I can do this, I can do that, I am so proficient, I am amazing. You have to consider the second person also. For example, if we are presenting ourselves in the interview, we have to thank our university and we have to mention our universities. You don't have to say it like, I have done MBA, I have done BBA, I have done internships. You can just say, I have done MBA from lovely professional university, I have done BBA from so and so university. There must be some courtesy. You must thank people. You must show your gratitude towards people. These are ethics that you must follow, because if you are doing this, a company will be rapidly impressed by you. Next, we have language. As I mentioned, it's not about the language that we can speak. It's about the language that the company prefers. If you are going in a company which is from abroad, so maybe you might be required to go in some local languages, maybe in English, maybe in French, maybe in Spanish. They might require you to be bilingual. And if you are in India, also you have to speak English in most of the companies, but there are few companies which can allow you to speak Hindi. For example, if you are a person who is willing to get a job in sales, those people, those companies which are, providing you the sales job, they are selling in the local markets. So they want you to speak the local language. If you are from UP or Punjab or somewhere else, so they might require you to speak in that local language instead of English, because you have to sell things in that language only. That is about the language preference. Nextly, we have personality. See, personality is not only about how we look. Personality is about the material that we have inside us. So when we are speaking, we must make a person comfortable. The person must think that yes, we are honest. If we are saying something, our honesty must be reflected, our confidence must be reflected. It's fine if you just if you stammer a bit, if you stumble a bit, that is completely fine, because sort of nervousness that is required. A company doesn't want you to be overconfident. That is fine. If you are stumbling a bit, that is completely fine. But you must have confidence in your posture, in your eye contact. You must look at the person instead of the surroundings. You must not look at your shoes. Okay, you must not keep your hands in your pocket if you are standing somewhere in front of the interviewer, or in front of the interview panel. You must show that yes, you are confident, not underconfident, not overconfident. You have to show your honesty and loyalty. For example, yes, I'm actually very eager to get this sales job, because not only I do have these skills, but also I do have enough knowledge about your company, and I have knowledge that your company culture is very good. You can say that I have been in touch with few people of your company, and I'm actually very eager, and once I get a job, I will be very grateful, and that will be a turning point in my life. You have to show your honesty, that gratitude, that must be reflected. It must not look like you have just learned a statement and you are just vomiting it out in front of the interviewer. Don't learn anything. Be genuine at the time of interview. Next, we have our confidence. As I mentioned, your confidence is extremely important. Like if you're sitting somewhere, stammering is fine, stumbling is fine. Just be confident of what you are saying. If you're saying something at the first point and then you are changing it. For example, I have done an internship in sales. No, no, no. I have done an internship in marketing in this and this place. I'm so sorry. Using the words like sorry, that is, very much bad at the time of interview. You must not say it like that. If you're not confident, if you're stammering, it's fine. That okay, sir, I'm sorry about I'm sorry about saying like this. You don't have to say this. Stammering is fine. Stumbling is fine. Just say what is there in your mind. To get a confidence, you must have two things. Firstly, your knowledge. Second is your willingness. If you're willing to get a job, you will perform good. You will just be the best out of all the competitors that are waiting outside. Okay. Second is knowledge. Knowledge speaks. If you're having a knowledge through your internship as well as through your books combinedly, you will speak good. If you're a person of finance and you are appearing in an interview of IT and you don't have any knowledge, where will the confidence come from? Right? So you must have, for having the confidence, you must have a good knowledge. Next, we have the type of selection process. Now, that varies from if you are opting for on-campus placement or on-campus placement. Second, that varies from the type of company. The common selection process that is followed is in the colleges, that is, you get to give an analytical test, then you go for some group discussion, then you go for few interviews, maybe 1 or 2 rounds maximum, and then you get selected. That is a typical selection process in most of the colleges. Now, when it comes to off-campus selection, so in that, you might have multiple rounds, or maybe you can just get selected in one round. So the typical format of off-campus selection process, that can be your analytical test, decision-making test, your domain test. They can be combined or they can be conducted separately. After that, you might or might not have a group discussion. Then there's first round of interview at the initial level with the recruiter, second maybe with the manager, and third at a higher level, maybe the head of human resources, because of course doesn't matter if you're fresher experience, they want good quality candidates. Because of this, there are a lot of filtering. There are a lot of filtering modes. If you're going in a small company, they don't have many applicants, so in that the selection process is very small. But if you're going in a company like Tata, like HCL, such huge companies, if you're going in Coca-Cola, so there are a lot many applicants in thousands. And from those thousands of people, to select those 10 to 15 people, actually filtering is very much required. So it might include 6 to 7 rounds. So the type of selection process matters, but you have to stay ready for each and every type of selection process. For the analytical part, you have to prepare every day. It's not like, yes, okay, I'm having a test tomorrow, so I'll just go and sleep very well today, and tomorrow I'll be just going and giving the test. This is not how it works. While you are pursuing your degree, you have to do extra things also. Like you have to do certifications not only in your domain, but also these things like analytical part. You can use some applications for through which you can just get your analytical skills enhanced. You can go for that. For the group discussion part, you must always know the type of group discussion and the do's and don'ts of group discussion. To prepare yourself for group discussion, what you can do, you can just have some programs with your classmates. For example, your college time is over, or maybe you're having recess, so your own friends group of 6 to 7 people, or maybe the entire class, you can have a quick discussion. Okay, come on, let's discuss about the women empowerment, favor or against. Just take some random topics. So what happens in the initial point, you will be like, oh my god, what all nonsense stuff is this? But after some time, you will actually get excited at the name of group discussion. You will start getting content. Whatever you will speak, it will have a material in it, it will have a content in it. Your communication skills will be enhanced, your confidence will be enhanced, your overall personality gets improved when you go for group discussion practices, because of which you don't have to improve, you don't have to practice at the end moment, you will be just ready at any point of time. For the interviews part, just stay confident and stay honest. For example, if I just pick one of you right now, I'm not going to do it. If I just pick one of you right now, okay, tell me about yourself. Tell me about all the internships that you have done. So maybe, you might not be able to present your data to me in an organized way because you don't have any preparation. So for the interview part, just write a preparation that whenever I'm introducing myself, what shall I speak? So there can be, I'm just telling you right now, whenever you tell about yourself, you can just mention like your name, your city, your educational qualification, your family, your internship experience, the projects, your achievement, and a thanking note. That would be enough. You don't have to speak for lot many minutes. You can just wind it up between 1 to 1.5 minutes. That would be enough. That is a introduction part which we can use, which we all can use being a fresher. Next is networking, making good connections. So nowadays, it is very important to do networking. It's fine if you are an introvert. If you just, enjoy your own company, that is very good. That is very fine because these people are actually very sharp. But it doesn't mean you don't have to make any connection. If you're attending this webinar today, that means you actually need a job. You are actually interested about the transition that you will be having. So you need to, make some network, make some good connection. Now, how can you make connection and with whom you have to make connection? Firstly, the professionals of the industry in which you are willing. For example, you want to go in automobiles, have connections in that industry. You want to go in human resources part in automobiles, then make connection with human resource professionals, maybe head, maybe recruiters, or maybe people related to payroll. So you must make good networking, good connections. And how can you make that? Firstly, through events. For example, these webinars, I have seen on your YouTube page that these webinars keep on happening. So out of these, those who are relevant, just add them over LinkedIn, over, you can contact them over email. And if they're providing their number, you can contact them via their number also over WhatsApp. Just try avoiding to call them. After this, you can go for online connections. For example, you can go for LinkedIn. If you are if you are a professional, it is necessary for you to have a LinkedIn account. So you can just right after the webinar, or right after any seminar that you have in your college, or any guest lecture, you can just find their LinkedIn ID and you can connect with them over there. Thirdly, you need to have a mentor who can help you with making connections. See, we all need a mentor. If we are a student, we need a mentor. If we are a teacher, or if we are from any organization also, we need to have a mentor. Because a mentor is a person who actually guides us all the time, irrespective of the position that we are having today. We can have our mentor from our faculty members. It's not only about having the best mentor, having the best person as a mentor. It is not required. Having a person from your field who can be best for your profit, that can be a mentor. For example, I do have a mentor who is a person with an expertise in human resources, but he doesn't have a good position. He is just a guest lecturer in the college in which I studied. So, he doesn't have a good position. He is not best out of all the faculties that we have, but he's best in human resources. And that is why I have chosen him as my mentor. I have requested him to be my mentor, and he guides me all the time. In this time of my job, also, whenever I need his help, he's there. Second person that can be a mentor, they can be your immediate seniors from your college. It's not like, okay, they are just students or, they are just freshers. It's not only about that. If they are a fresher, they are your seniors. So definitely they have more exposure than you. So they can be a very good mentor. They can guide you throughout your journey whenever you need them. And also these mentors can help you in making the connections. So it is very important to have a mentor. Next, these were some common challenges that we face. Now it comes to the challenges that we face in on-campus placements only, apart from the ones that we have already discussed. So these are the 5 main challenges. So I'm going to tell you their solution one by one. For the analytical skills, go through some courses. You can opt for some, test in upgrad, okay, on an academy. You can go for that. And also your classrooms, your CRC might be organizing some analytical test. Your people, your teacher from aptitude or any other department, they might also come and just teach you if you request them. Or maybe you don't need that. Your teacher is already organizing such sessions to enhance your analytical skills, your reasoning skills. That is very important. So you can enhance it in this way. And if you don't have anything out of these, you can just go for some certification over LinkedIn or over some free platforms like Great Learning. Next, extracurricular activities. It doesn't matter if your extra activities are related to your core or not. If you are from MBA and your extracurricular activity is sports, doesn't matter. You must have an activity. The person must know that yes, you know how to keep your own work-life balance good. If you're having an extra pressure in your mind of work, if you're having an extra pressure of studies in your mind, then how you are going to relieve this? With your extracurricular activities, with your hobbies. It's not like you just have to go to the college, study and come back. There are certain competitions. You have to participate, you have to earn certificate, and you have to showcase them in your CV. For example, there's a drawing competition. Maybe the girls or maybe the boys, they are willing to go, they participate there. If you're getting a participation certificate, you're not getting an award. Mention this in your resume. Your extracurricular activities must be there. I myself am a writer, which is, not at all related to my field of human resources. But I mention this proudly in my introduction when I introduce myself to people. I mentioned this in my resume also, that I have written for these many anthologies and I'm writing on my own book. Well, you always have to mention. Like I also mentioned that I have an interest in playing BGMI. I mentioned this proudly because I know why I'm playing that. That is to relieve my mind, to keep a balance, a mental balance. So you have to make an interest. If you're not into extracurricular activities, start getting into that. Not only from your college, if you want to do from outside also, you can just go. You can go and have some sports. You can take some dance classes, whatever you want. Whatever your interest area is, you can opt for that. Third is your knowledge of core subject. When we go for on-campus placements, as I've mentioned, the recruiters, the recruiting team knows you don't have any exposure apart from your internships. You don't know anything practically. In that thing, what they want is a good personality and a good knowledge of the core subjects. If you are a person from marketing, you must know about each and every model, the 4 P's, the 7 P's. What is digital marketing? What is service marketing? How is marketing related to sales? Similarly for HR, what is recruitment? What is selection? What is human resource management? How about recruiting in, own companies, in corporates, and how about recruiting in, the third parties? For example, the company where I am working, that is a consultancy. So the recruitment part is quite different there. So you need to have a good knowledge of your core subjects. Next is your offer versus dream. As I've mentioned, you might not get your dream job in the first go, but what you have to do, you have to choose one from what is offered. If you are being offered around, you are getting three placements or 4 placements in maximum, maybe some of you might even get 6 to 7. I've seen people like that. So out of those offers, you must not drop that until you are ready for an off-campus placement. if you're not having any off-campus placement opportunity, just select an offer which is relevant to your stream, which you think that it can be a good factor for your growth. You have to choose an offer out of that. For example, if you are a person from marketing stream, there's a company that is coming to your college and they're providing you a job which is a mix of sales and marketing. Another placement that you have got, that is in human resources. Third one that you have got, that is completely different, and you don't have any opportunity from outside. In that case, just opt for your first job, because getting the first job is actually very hard. Stepping on the first stair is actually very hard. Once you get your first job, once you get your internship experience, once you get your experience letter, your job experience letter in your hand, only then it will be easy for you to get your second job, to get your third, fourth, and a number of jobs. Also, in the on-campus placements, you will get a very good salary as compared to the off-campus placements, because the competition is less. The companies just come and out of your whole class, out of your all the batchmates, they just select 6 to 7 people maximum. Sometimes they even come and select 1 or 2 people, but that is not a very big competition. So in that case, they will be providing you very good salaries. So just opt for your first job, get a job from your offered ones, and after that you can work, you can extract the growth opportunities from your first company to move towards your dream job. This is what you have to do. If you are not getting your dream job, you just don't have to wait for number of months, because maybe then you will not be getting some good opportunities, and you will have to adjust with the opportunities that you will get at that moment. So don't take a risk. Don't wait for much time. If you want to wait, just wait for 2 months, 3 months, but not more than that. Last is pressure. You have a pressure from your batchmates. They are selected. Sometimes they just come and poke you that, okay, why are you saying anything to us? We have been placed. We have a package of 20 LPA. How dare you say anything to us? So these things actually happen. Or sometimes what happens, teachers come and they just say, okay, everyone who has got the placement, keep sitting. Those who have not got the placement yet, kindly stand up and tell me your reason. Why haven't you got a placement? This is actually very much pressurizing. You will get an extra burden in your mind. So to avoid this pressure, what you need is self-confidence. If you're having a confidence on yourself that yes, you can do it. Maybe it's taking time, but you can do it. I have not got a job yet because maybe I was not prepared. But from each and every interview that I am giving, I am learning. I am just knowing that how do I have to introduce myself? How do I have to be honest? What should be my decision making skills at that time? How should I answer? How should I work? How could I stand out of the crowd? So this pressure, instead of taking this pressure, you must focus on the solutions. And then sooner or later, you will just get your first job. You just have to stay consistent. You have to stay confident and avoid the pressure and take the things in a very positive way. Lastly, we have the challenges that we face in the off-campus placements. So when it comes to off-campus placements, this is actually very, very much different from the on-campus placements. It is very hard to find the best suitable job. As I mentioned, that there can be a difference in what you want and what you are getting. In the best suitable job, it's about the job profile. You want a human resource manager job, maybe you're just providing you a human resource coordinator job. It is possible. Or maybe if you are just looking for a package of 30,000 or 35,000 and they are providing you 15,000, 20,000. So the job that is suitable for you, according to you, so it can be a bit hard to find. But how can you find it? The solution is, firstly, you can go for referrals. You might have relatives who are in a company, so they can refer you, or they can refer you in their own company or in some other company. Okay. Second, your immediate seniors. You can ask your seniors to give your reference in their companies or in any company where they know people. They can share your resume. This is a second method. Third is you can opt for some placement opportunities that other consultancies are giving. For example, a consultancy is hiring for a batch of a number of people. So you can just go with the consultancies. Apart from this, lastly, you can go for social media platforms or job sharing platforms like LinkedIn, like Shine, like Monster. We have the Naukri portal. You can opt for that also. So that might be a bit challenging, but that is not completely impossible to find the best suitable job. But just make sure that you might need to adjust a bit. It's not like if you want a job that is 100% fit for you and you are getting a 70% fit, don't look for 90%. Start with that 70% fit. Maybe that second job that you will get after that experience, that can be 110% fit. Go for the first job. Second is large pool of applicants is there. As I mentioned earlier also, at the time of campus placements, there are a limited number of people, maximum 6,000 or 7,000 people at a time who are your competition. But when you go for the off-campus placements, the entire country, or maybe more than that, they are your actually the competition. There's a large pool, and getting selected out of those applicants, that is not easy. So if you're going for an off-campus placements, you must be ready in all aspects. In your decision-making skills, in your communication, in your analytics, with your resume, with your internship experience, the projects that you have, each and everything, that must be very good. You must look better than the experienced people. Third is low salary package. What happens when we go for off-campus placements? It is a bitter truth that people don't want to give much salary to a person who is a fresher, because they also know if a person is a fresher, he won't get much opportunities, and at the end he will just adjust himself with low salary package also. So from the initial stage, they provide low salary like 20,000, 25,000. This is the salary that they provide. And to be very honest, for the human resources, if you're getting a 25,000 salary off campus, that is actually a very big thing. If that is a job that you have found on your own, not through any referrals, but through some job posting, so that is a very big salary. So the salary package that you will get is low, but what you have to do, you just don't have to settle for one company at a time. Give interviews for many companies. For example, you can give interview for US based consultancy, then give for domestic also, give interviews for the companies that are in your city also, get shortlisted, take some time and choose the best opportunity in terms of role and in terms of salary package also. Because at the end, if you're getting a low salary package, you don't have to settle at any cost, because the salary package also matters. If you're having a job of 15,000, in the second job you can't demand for 30,000 directly. If you're having a 20,000 job and you have done an excellent job, in that time you can ask for 30,000. Sometimes there are companies that actually recognize your potential, and after 20,000 job, they can even give you 50,000, but that is actually very rare. So you have to ignore the rare cases. You have to take the things in a practical manner. Just consider what is best for you in terms of salary package also. Next we have is the high expectation of recruiters. So in on campus, people know that you just have your knowledge and your personality. But when it comes to off campus, the expectations of the recruiter is very high. That is because of the large pool of applicants. If there is a job which is posted specially for freshers, in that also, already, in that also the people who are having 3 to 4 years of experience, they do apply. Maybe because they are looking for a job change, or maybe that job is providing more salary, they do apply. In that case, how will you stand out? Their experience, you are fresher. So what you have to do, you have to show the person at the time of interview and before the interview that you are actually a fit. Before the interview, how can you show? By your resume. Your resume must be attractive. Second thing I will tell you about resume is write your resume in a manner which can be easy for the computer to read. Because when there are applicant tracking systems. So when you apply for the job, there are certain keywords that these systems are looking for. If you are lacking these keywords, you might not get selected. For example, the job is of human resource recruiter. In your resume, nothing like recruiter is mentioned. Nothing like sourcing is mentioned, like communication. Nothing is mentioned. In that case, your resume will not be shortlisted. If the shortlisting is done manually, in that case, you might have a chance. But if that is, through some of these softwares, then you might get rejected. So before the interview, what preparation you have to do? You have to make a very good resume with relevant keywords and each and every information that I told you in the very starting. At the time of interview, you have to show how can you stand out of the crowd. You have to showcase your knowledge. You have to showcase your potential in terms of your confidence, the skills you have, plus the way that you have used your skills. It's not okay to say that I am good at team management. You have to give an example along with that, that where have you have managed a team. How did you manage a team? Like if someone asks me that how have you managed a team, either I can tell them about my current profession, or if I am a fresher, what I can say, I have conducted an event, I have conducted a competition that was on HR role play, in which I managed a team of 25 people on my own without any support, and those 25 people were the coordinators of the event. So I was managing XYZ areas of that competition. That is where you can show your management skills plus your team management skills in one go, along with good communication, plus your things must be presented in a systematic way. So these are the ways in which you can fulfill the expectation of recruiter. Just be honest, just be loyal, be confident. The recruiter will select you above the people who has experience. Just be yourself. Then we have qualifications required. Maybe you can't get selected after the graduation part only or after the diploma part only, because that happens easily in campuses, but in off campus that can be a bit challenging. So what people require, they actually require masters, let it be MBA or anything else. They actually require masters, especially when it comes to any management part. They require your master's degree. So if you have not completed your master's degree, you are still pursuing, you are in the final semester, yet you can face challenges. So what you can do, if you are willing to get an immediate job before the completion of your masters, you can go for those companies, or if you can wait. So what you have to do, in all the companies where you have given the interview, which are best for you, but they want you to apply after examination, just keep them noted. It's not like you just have to save your number. Keep an Excel ready with you, and in that, just write the name of company, name of human resource person who contacted you, or any other person who contacted you. Write the number, the date on which you talked. The date must be written, and then call them after your exams. You must have a list of people actually. So what happens after exams, when you will call them that, hi, I am Mr. or Miss, your name, and I called you on this date, and I gave an interview, or I was about to give an interview, but you told me that I can appear after my examination. So when you tell the person that, yes, I know the date when we have talked and the exact words that you said to me, I'm from this and this place, in that case, you stand a chance, because it showcases that, yes, you are actually eager to get the job, and you are, a very organized person. That is why you have maintained the data. So that is what you can do. Apart from this, what you can do is, even from now, maybe if you're not willing to get a job right now, you are in your first year, maybe first year, or if you're in bachelor's, then you're in the second year. What you can do from now, prepare an Excel, company name of every company, write name of two people from human resource department, get their details, their number or their email ID. Every day, get details of three people. In 1 week, you will have details of 21 people. Then in 1 month or maybe 1 year, you will have a lot many details. And in that case, when you will go for off-campus placement, you can give over 200 interviews. And definitely out of those 200 interviews, if you're actually having potential, you can get selected in at least 10 to 20. And then the choice will be yours. The companies will be looking for you in that case, and you will have a chance. You will not face these challenges. You will not face a challenge in finding the job. This is what you can do. And also you will not have, any pressure from everyone. You can showcase, yes, I have these many offers, I have these many contacts, and I can get a job when I want. This adds a boost, because when you have that material with you, when you are ready in yourself, plus when you're having that data that, yes, I do have data of 200 plus people, 500 plus people, I can contact them anytime. So there you stand a chance. Lastly, your social media profiles. You need to make a very good social media profile. If you are in the field of marketing, make sure you are having a very good Facebook account. You are having a very good Instagram account. You are active on WhatsApp also, plus LinkedIn also. This is expected from marketing people. Though these are not the major expectation from IT people, from finance, from healthcare. This is very much expected from marketing people. You need to keep your profiles ready at all the time, because what they will ask, you have to promote so and so product. If you are in a company who sells biscuits, you have to promote their product. You have to generate sales, you have to generate leads. So for that, if you're not having followers prior to your interview, how can you do that? So if you're willing to go into marketing, 100% into marketing and sales, just keep all your social medias ready. If you're a person from human resources, you can just make contact on the professional platforms also. There is not much requirement of your Instagram and your Facebook account. What you can do, keep your LinkedIn ready. I'm a person who is having no Instagram or Facebook account, but I am having my LinkedIn profile ready. Keep all your professional details there. If you're if you're into content writing also, just post there. But your LinkedIn account, that must be very much ready. You must have good followers. At least, being a student of MBA or BBA, you must have at least 1,500 connections. One more tip for the connection, you just not add anyone. Like if you're getting a person, you are seeing a person randomly, you don't have to add them. But what you have to add is a person who is a professional. Firstly, add people from your college, your teachers, your dean. Okay, you have to add them. Out of there, the people from your stream. Like if you're from HR or marketing, find people or professional from your stream. You can just enter in the search bar. Then go for your industry, automobiles or another manufacturing or outsourcing company, consultancies. You have to mention and get connected. What happens that at the time, if you're not getting any job, you can ask those people that I need some job, can you help me? Or I need some tips that how can I prepare myself. You can ask them. So that is why you need to keep your social media profiles ready. And when you mention your social media profiles in your resume, people actually visit. They actually see what is there in your social media profile. Are you a person with zero content? Are you a person who just posts his pictures with no content? Or are you a person who is actually well organized? Being well organized is your education must be properly showcased, and your internships must be there. The details of your program, because we do have any option of details also, right? So we can mention the details of the program out there. After this, our skills, we must add our skills. They must be accurate. It's not like we have to mention communication skills, English. That is not enough. You have to mention each and everything, like analytical skills, your software skills, each and everything you have to mention in detail. Don't mention human resources, mention recruitment, mention selection, mention interviews. Don't mention just marketing. Go for digital marketing, graphic designing. These things, these are the skills that you have to mention in detail. After this, you are having an area in which you can mention about your interest. In that, mention anything not related to your profession, but literally anything in which you are actually interested. Keep a very good profile picture. Avoid the pictures with side pose. Avoid that. Keep a picture with front pose. You must be sitting straight. You must be wearing formals maybe, and the picture must be your achievement, or maybe your simple passport size photo. That must not be a selfie. You don't have to show that yes, you are very beautiful, or that. You have to show that yes, you are fit for the job. You have to look professional, because that is a professional platform. You don't have to do modeling there. So just keep a picture and keep a banner before that, so that should be very much formal. So that was all from my end. And now for the question and answer part, that is up to you. If you want to drop your questions in the chat box, you can do that, and maybe we can allow you to ask your questions over voice, whatever is okay for you. Please go ahead. If you're having any question, you can just turn your mic on and ask me.
Yes, ma'am. We have observed there are some questions.
Okay.
And I'm asking the questions on behalf of them. And the question proceeds as, can you provide insights on how to adapt to the corporate culture and work environment after leaving the academic?
Okay. Actually, adapting to a new culture, that is actually a very hard part, a very typical part. So what happens when we are in the college, we do have lot many friends, but when we go to the corporate, we don't have friends. We are people who talk to us formally, and maybe people can try show you that okay, you are just a fresher, we are seniors. So what you have to do, first thing, you have to be patient and calm. You must understand that yes, things take time. When you went to your college for the first time, it was not comfortable for you because you didn't know them. Those people around you, they didn't know you. So what happens when you go in the corporate? Keep your personal life in professional life different. If a person is talking to you, so be professional, be good. If a person is adding humorous elements, go ahead with that. For the culture part, please follow what others are following. If everyone else is wearing formals, don't go with casual clothes. So you will have a sense of belongingness if you look like them. After this, just keep talking to the people around you. Like if you have your superiors, if you have any query, you just not only drop an email, you can simply go to them. If that is an online job, that is completely different. You can just connect over call. But if you're in an offline job, just go and talk to people. Whenever there are breaks, utilize them. In that part, you can just go and talk to people that yes, hi, my name is this and this. I have joined in this department, in this post. So can I please know about you, that what's your name and what are the key areas and what are your learnings? What do you love about your job? So people will know that yes, you are interested professionally. By this way, people can get comfortable in talking to you. They will tell you new things. They will feel happy that yes, this person is asking me. They will feel good that yes, I am being asked questions. So this is the way people will get comfortable with you, and you will just definitely slowly, it can't be done very fast, but slowly you will get adapted in the culture of that company.
And there is one another question, and the question goes as, how can recent graduates efficiently balance work-life responsibilities and maintain their overall well-being during the transition period?
Okay. For the balancing of work-life balance, see what you have to do. As I mentioned, you need to keep your personal life and professional life very different. Okay, if your timing of working is 9:30 to 6:30, don't be available before 9:30 for yourself. Maybe your manager will call you at 9 in the morning that there's a meeting and you have to prepare this and this data. Don't be available. After 6:30, maybe if you have to work overtime, if you are being paid for your overtime, do work. If you're not being paid for your overtime, just don't take your work to your home. Similarly, as you don't call your parents at the time of your job, in a similar manner, when you are having a time for your family, you are having a time for yourself. Don't do any office work. And for this, there's nothing like, okay, my manager has said I have to do. How could I listen to this advice? So, what you have to do? You can say no. In corporate, using the word no is very important. Otherwise, people will use you. Firstly, you have to say no, that okay, my time is done and I have to do some work, or I have to give some time to my family. It's already been 9 to 10 hours. You can say no. Or sometimes even it happens that people just come and say that okay, actually I need your help in my work, and your work is not done, but you can't say no. In that case, you have to help that other person to work, because of which you suffer. Your burden is increased. So just say no until you are comfortable. Sometimes working till late is it's fine. Like for example, you are having some management meetings, it's fine because you do have your attachment towards the company. So you should work, but sometimes not always. So in this way, you can have your work life and a company life balanced. But if you are a student, for example, you are getting your job when you are in your final year. So what you can do, you have to study also. So from 9:30 to 6:30, whatever your office timing is, you have to work, then give some time to your family. And at the time of night, you can just study for 1 to 2 hours, because in the final year, you don't get much in your examination. Because I got my job when I was in my final year already. So what they do, they also know that students are working. So they give just simple syllabus. So you can, give some less time to your studies, but please don't work more than your office time. In this way, you can have a good balance between your work life and your personal life.
Wow, what a wonderful knowledge given by you, ma'am. I hope our audience learned many new things from this session. Well, we kindly request all the participants to turn on your cameras. We will have a snapshot moment where we'll capture all the collective energy and enthusiasm of our participants.
Can I stop sharing my screen, Hemant?
Just a second, ma'am. I'm taking
Oh,
a snapshot. Yes, ma'am. Now you can stop sharing your screen.
okay. Thank you so much, everyone.
And ladies and gentlemen, let's all thank to our esteemed speaker, Ms. Amisha Chandal. Her insights and expertise have provided us with valuable knowledge and practical solutions for navigating the transition from college to career. We are truly grateful for her time and contribution to this webinar. Thank you, Amisha, for sharing your wisdom and guiding us on the important journey. Again, thank you all for attending today's webinar. And if you have any additional questions, you can contact us by email or telephone. We are happy to provide additional support for you. Feedback link is already added in the chat box. Please fill the form within 6 hours. Thank you so much for cooperation. So stay connected to us for new learning. I, Venkata Hemant, your host for the day, signing off. Have a wonderful day. Thank you everyone for joining us.